This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on what's happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month you gain access not one, but two entire podcasts. $5 gets you Takeout, a monthly commentary track where Ben and I decide we don't feel like playing anything, so we're just going to talk over something instead and make it easier on ourselves. And $2, if you don't feel like getting two whole podcasts and you still want to give a little bit of money, you can pay $2 and get Praetorian Pals, a series where Ben, Saturn, Oates, and myself sit down, we play the MSQ roulette in Final Fantasy XIV, and we talk and mostly say the most deranged things you've ever heard in your entire life. We talk about Final Fantasy XIV, and sometimes we just talk about nothing in the good way.
The words just come out, and then whatever happens is on your shoulders.
That's correct.
You were the ones who gave us the money to make this happen.
Correct.
So the blood is on your hands.
Yeah, you should be proud. $2 also gets you the entire back catalog of That's Hell You're Walking Into, a series now retired, maybe. Wait until I read Tsukihime.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. And I'm gonna read Mihoyo this year, so it's coming back, folks. Anyways, That's Hell You're Walking Into is a series where Ben asks me questions about Fate Stay Night, Fate Grand Order, and the extended Nasuverse. That includes Mihoyo and Tsukihime. And I do my damnedest to answer it. And there's a ton of episodes of that. So, yeah. You get a lot of content for $2.
You do.
And all of that and more is at patreon.com/thegorge.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who supports us.
That's right.
So it is one of our wrap-ups. Just shooting the shit, talking about things that have been happening. So what have you been up to?
I feel like I haven't done anything since the last time we've done one of these. I feel like I've just kind of, I did a Eureka Orthos in Final Fantasy XIV. Does that count?
Well, 6.35 stuff happened. We can talk about that a little bit.
I mean, yeah, and I haven't really done a lot of it because I haven't unlocked the Crafter Beast Tribe yet. It's the bunnies. Of course, it's the bunnies. Yeah. I haven't really even done a lot of that. I just did Eureka Orthos. Another reason to join our Discord is that I will play Final Fantasy XIV with you almost whenever you'd want. And I did Eureka Orthos with some folks from the Discord, and it was fun. It's hard. It's a really good time. I'm thinking the title card needs to be what I posted in the Final Fantasy XIV room today, which is that shot from Tintin where the captain's going, boy, this Eureka Orthos is something, huh? And Tim Tin's going, Captain, is floor 23. And it's like, oh, okay. Because that's how I feel. It does immaculately reproduce the sensation of climbing Tartarus in P3 specifically, where you're just so tired and you're just trying to find the next room, like the next break point. Yeah. Right? And it's like 2 a.m. and you've been grinding and you just you want to get this all done in a day so you can spend the rest of the week doing social links and stuff. And you're exhausted and you're just trying to find the fucking stairs and things just keep coming to find you to kick your ass. And you're all tired and delirious and somebody just stepped on a landmine. So now nobody has any HP. God help you if you wipe. It's a good time. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I like content like that that's meant to make me suffer. So in that way, I suppose I was having a great time through all of my pain and misery, So yeah, that was, I don't think I've done anything else that's super new. Really? I mean, it's only been 2 weeks since our last roundup, and part of that was Hi-Fi Rush. So,
well, I know there is one thing that both of us did for sure.
What?
We both watched Earthspark.
Okay, were we finally talking about Earthspark?
Yeah, we could talk about Earthspark.
Okay, I was doing the mental math in my head. Yeah, I suppose that is the big thing because I was like, was Earthspark out by the time the last roundup? But no, it wasn't.
Was between roundups, yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, then we can talk about Earthspark. I suppose that is the big thing that was consuming all my other time. The second half, they broke it up into thirds, which I'm extremely annoyed by.
Yeah.
They didn't put out the last 15 episodes, or the last 16 episodes. They just put out 8 of them, so we still have 8 more to go, which is just why? Stop. But that being said, It's good, folks. It's good.
Really good.
Earthspark continues to be pretty dang good, actually. All things considered, considering its demographic, it's pretty good, actually. It has a lot of cool stuff going on. It has a lot of really fun characters. Yeah.
I think if I had one problem is that it did feel a lot like a retread of the first half of the season, where it was very front loaded with learning a lesson.
Yeah.
And then all of the heavy, like, cool stuff happened in the back half of it.
Sure. I will say I like these Let's Learn a Lesson episodes more because they're about like robots doing robot shit, which is more important to me. I actually really, really like the episode about Jawbreaker. It's really good.
The Jawbreaker we're learning about what he wants his alt mode to be was really good.
It's really good. It's just like very like sweet and heartfelt, and Jawbreaker's a really fun character.
We get a lot of look at this series interpretation of Cybertronian culture and lore.
Sure.
The idea of like how you pursue an alt mode or what how a transformer is made is it varies from season to season. Either you're born with an alt mode intrinsically, like a specific type of vehicle you transform into. In Prime, you had to, when you were modified in some way, you had to scan a new one before you could transform again. In this, I like that in this one that you were a protoform, and then you just kind of choose. You need, and more so, you choose an idea of what you want to be.
Right.
Because Nightshade scanned a statue.
Yeah, and it doesn't, and like that kind of then equates to being like a cool owl alt mode that kicks ass.
Yeah.
Nightshade's design is incredible, by the way.
I love them. They're great.
It's just fantastic, just look all together. And it's all about like it's a fun little way of being like, no, it's about like self-expression and like what you want to be and kind of each person's idea of what your alt mode is supposed to represent is something different. Like that's fun. It's good.
And
it's a metaphor.
I really, really like that, like, specifically, not only is it a great lesson to learn about, who you are and what you want to be, I'll get into that in a second. I really like the implication that Jawbreaker's going to be a Dinobot.
I really want him to be a Dinobot. I want my boy to be a Dinobot real bad. Yeah, I really hope so. I thought for sure he was going to have, like, the for real animal alt mode, but then I guess that goes to Nightshade instead, which is fine. Yeah. The Nightshade episode, the Tarantulas episode, kicks ass.
Phenomenal. Oh
fantastic my god. Episode. 10 out of 10 Tarantulas.
Great use of that character.
Extremely funny that Earthspark is turning into a Game of Thrones reunion. The way that Gargoyles is a TNG reunion because Megatron is voiced by Sander Clegane and Nightshade is voiced by Theon Greyjoy. His name is Alfie something or other. But no, that's Theon Greyjoy, like the most put upon character in Game of Thrones. Yeah, which is amazing. And he's really good, like that. He's really good as like that character. So I was super happy. Fantastic. I love Matt Kay on Twitter. Matt Kay is the writer for that episode and a handful of other episodes. And on Twitter, he's very like professional and stuff about it. But he also has a Tumblr. And he's like, no, when I was pitching this episode and using tarantulas to the Nick executives, I was thinking in my head, he's gay, he's a mad scientist, he's a dad, he's an icon. And I'm just like yes, agreed. You're correct. It rules.
No, I think this batch of episodes was on the whole better than the first batch. I think it's just a market improvement. Weird thing, there was no Optimus.
No Optimus except for the flashback.
Besides the flashback, yeah. He literally did not show up.
Oh! Speaking of flashback episode, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like, this was already kind of like the de facto, because I mean, Tarantulas is here as a sad gay dad mad scientist,
right?
And Megatron is here with his fucking more than meets the eye design. So it's like, okay, so this is like the de facto,
they're
like
pulling,
IDW for babies, right?
They're definitely using IDW as inspiration for this franchise in a way that is like that. It's like, you know, that other series pull from, you know, the previous year. Like it's a Transformers thing. Like someone has a good idea for a quick change up, mix up, and then it's like, oh, well, we'll use that in the next one too because it's cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I think like Orange Ratchet starts in Prime and is that way in IDW, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
because IDW came later, like specifically in More Than Meets the Eye,
and specifically the characterization of Ratchet as a crotchety old man.
Right.
Is an animated thing that got backported into Prime and then got backported into more IDW.
Right, yeah. So it's really fun because you have like, because in Transformers Animated, he's still red. And then in Prime, he's orange and a grumpy old man. And then we get to IDW and he's a grumpy old man and he's orange. It's like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. We have now completed the synthesis.
Right.
All of that to say that, the flashback episode is like, hey, what if we just use the flowers? Like the most traumatic thing from IDW 1. It's like, what? Oh, what
if we just put one of the most visually striking elements of IDW and one of the most signature IDW things.
Right, like it is the thing that like is wholly from them. Like the comics invented that whole cloth.
And not even the idea of just we're using blue flowers as a metaphor for, or as a visual for mourning, for funeral,
lives lost,
etc. But specifically, each of these flowers contains an element, contains like a fraction of the spark of the fallen member,
right?
The person it represents, right? Like, like getting it down to that specific thing is like, oh yeah, you're
not even being subtle.
They're pulling as much from IDW as they can.
Yeah, no, it rules. It's extremely cool. I love it a lot. It's just crazy to like see it in a mass market piece of media. Because like the comics were popular,
right?
But I mean, they were still just Transformers comics, right? They're still pretty niche, I would think.
And they were popular in that way that like Hasbro, and you see this a lot with a lot of like these long-standing things where like the one that the fans latch onto the hardest is also the one that the official head of the, you know, owner of the franchise doesn't officially acknowledge that often.
They kind of ignore. Yeah, like IDW was kind of just like off in its own happy little world for 16 years, right? Just kind of doing its own thing, and nobody bothered it.
Right.
and every now and then somebody would stick their head in and go, hey, what's happening here? Oh my God. And then they would get trapped as well, right?
Right.
But like in the meantime, other stuff was just chugging along without any input from the comics. And,
right. Yeah. Like
which is very fun.
We are going to isolate this, and it reminds me a lot of how Disney as a corporation treats Kingdom Hearts, right?
Sure. Right.
Like you will see. You will very, very rarely, not even just like a Kingdom Hearts like acknowledgement, but just like a Keyblade. Or
you ain't gonna see a Kingdom Hearts piece of merch at Disney World.
Right. Like you won't see like, you know, a pendant that looks like the heart or anything like that, you know? Mm-hmm. It and that's kind of what IDW was for mainline series. So it's very refreshing to see like, oh, they're just like actively acknowledging things that IDW invented on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much just like, I think because after a certain point, you have to realize that like, specifically More Than Meets the Eye has probably been one of the biggest like tools to onboard somebody into the series ever.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to like just give somebody, be like, read this and you'll understand.
It's the perfect introduction because, you know, as we've talked about before, where it's like, it's completely isolated, except for one brief thing that you can easily ignore. Mm-hmm. It's completely isolated from the rest of IDW as a franchise. Mm-hmm. It's also not very reliant on knowing a lot of Transformers, like, history, like as a franchise, you know?
Yeah, it really doesn't ask you to know too much even about like old IDW comics. Right? Like you don't even need to, like, if you've read like Last Stand of the Wreckers and Autocracy and stuff like that, then that stuff will resonate harder. Yeah. But you don't need it. Like it gives you the bones. It's like, okay, well, what's wrong with Fort Max? Well, he's got PTSD. Right.
They have enough. The whole issue with Rung, in therapy is about telling you what Fort Max's deal is. Like, you don't need to read Last Stand of the Wreckers to get that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like the perfect piece of onboarding. And I think after a certain point, Hasbro's like, oh, we should probably acknowledge that a lot of people now watch this cartoon because they read more than meets the eye. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that, like, it really does lend a lot to Earthspark in that it kind of, Earthspark, how do I put this? Earthspark doesn't feel safe.
It definitely feels experimental, like in a good kid way, yeah.
Right, like the fact that, like, there's no Optimus.
Right.
Like, there's so little Optimus. There's, the main five that we've kind of become kind of like the default, Optimus, RC, Ratchet, Bumblebee, Prowl, and, usually it's Bulkhead, but he was kind of like an animated, like Hound or someone,
Another like big guy.
Yeah, the core cast that we've kind of acknowledged is like, well, here's your standard layout of Transformers characters. The fact that Bumblebee is more of a prominent character, we haven't seen that since Rid 15.
And it's really interesting that, like, after a certain point in this season, they're like, we're going to have a couple episodes where there isn't even, like, a Bumblebee around, right?
You don't see an Autobot logo at all for a while.
Yeah, like, it's really cool.
We haven't seen, I think, this level of, original character. For one thing, original characters, which is shocking.
Yeah, no, it's very nice.
We haven't seen this since Beast Wars, where Beast Wars was also revolutionary for being like, no, totally new cast. Like, everyone is a new character.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's very just like, it's very much like, no, we're going to do our own thing, and we're just going to kind of trust that people are going to be on board with it, right?
Connect to this new cast of characters. And they're really good characters.
They're really good characters. I was extremely worried when, like, the first time we see Hashtag after the 2-part introduction is she's the kid that's always on her tablet, right? I was like, oh no. But no, they actually do right by it. They're like, no, this is just like her little special interest, and she's more like just your standard weird internet girl. She's not just like them kids always be on their phones.
Right.
But, like, she's a weird internet girl who wants to make shitty short movies like I did with my friends.
She wants to go viral. She wants to...
Yeah, but even more so, just like, it's not even about like that. It's just like she wants to do like weird, stupid, shitty, creative crap that like me and my I used to make bad stop motion movies with my friends all the time. Are you kidding me?
No, any time in high school it was like, oh, you can make a film for this project. We would go out into the elementary school near my old house and film something.
Absolutely, because, like, why wouldn't you? It's more fun that way. Yeah,
it is, absolutely.
And you're that weird kid, because not everybody did that. Like, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the characterization she gets, and she's just like I really like her design. I love her big stupid ponytail. It's awesome. Like, they turned her satellite dish into a ponytail. It kicks ass.
Nightshade's design is phenomenal.
Oh, it's so good. It's so sleek.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Jawbreakers looks like.
I know. I would love to see my boy.
And I really gotta say, like, I mentioned this doesn't feel safe. Like, also in the sense that, like, I was blown away because, first off, Nightshade is introduced and their pronouns are they them. They make that a point.
Sure.
To, like,
reiterate it.
Flat out says that, like, Nightshade's pronouns are they them. To then just, like, continue that and be like, no, we're gonna have Nightshade meet a non-binary human.
Yeah.
They're going to use the word non-binary in a cartoon for kids.
One of my favorite jokes that I've seen on Tumblr is the bit from Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Gina's, like, dancing with her headphones on while there's a fight going on in the background. And in the background, it says Twitch and hashtag learning what prejudice is. Bumblebee, Thrash, and Jawbreaker getting caught in a legal pot fighting ring. And in the front is just Nightshade just dancing around going, Nightshade learning what gender identity is. It's like, yeah, right? That's correct.
No, and it was like this really, really beautiful moment to like lay it out for, in a way that like you would never, ever have seen 5-10 years ago, you know?
Yeah, it's very, just because it's very casual and it's very confident, and it's not like a special, like, this is a special episode about non-binary people, kids. Right. It's just like, this is the way the world is. Isn't it nice? And we'll move on, right? Yeah. Like, it's great.
When the first half of season 1 came out, I was on a server for something or another, and there were people on there complaining about Nightshade being non-binary, and not in the, you know, those SJWs are ruining my cartoons way. It was, why is the robot character the non-binary one? And for one thing, I was like, well, they're Transformers.
They're all robots.
They're the characters. The show's about them.
Yeah, and you know, like, there are also robots that have the binary. You know, there are robots that also have the gender binary.
Like I'm like, okay, I kind of, if you don't know anything, like, I kind of get where you're coming from, where it's like, the alien or the robot or the monster is the non-binary one, but like,
sure,
no, it's called Transformers. It's their show.
The whole show is explicitly about the robots, guys.
It would be like complaining about like a non-binary My Little Pony. Like, they're the show.
Why is the pony non-binary?
Well,
who else would it
as
be?
Opposed to what?
Oops.
But no, and I thought like even that was like very like upfront about like, here's what pronouns are and here's what you don't have to apply to that. And then to just have a character, like a human character, lay it out with badge, with pins on their bag.
Yeah.
To be like, here's a little rundown of, what it means to be non-binary.
Yeah, it's nice because it's very casual. It's very confident.
Mm-hmm. And then here's also, like you said, here's some
horrors.
Here's a couple characters experiencing microaggressions.
And also, hey, what's up with the staging of this whole android coming back though?
Holy shit, right? It's like a whole new director took over for that one scene.
It's so good. It's so like Rise, right? Yeah, because like a lot of the borders on Earthspark are also Rise borders, right?
I'm very glad that I've watched Rise enough times to recognize when the Rise storyboarders are working on the show.
I know that JJ Conway is a border for Earthspark, and I know that a few others are because like I've seen their boards and their style is the exact same.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I actually saw the extremely sick fight between Prime and Megatron and the two Seekers from the first part of the season. At the very end of it, that was boarded by a Rise border because I actually saw they actually posted their boards, and it's like, oh yeah, I know your art style. I've literally seen your sketches before. It's like, okay, that's easy. But yeah, no, it's great. It's so like it just takes this suddenly like insanely like cinematic kind of vibe, and it looks so good. And what the hell is going on?
The use of like camera angles and like foreshortening,
Dutch angles all over the place because they know something. Because like the age old Dutch angle means something is wrong, right?
Right.
And it's like Dutch angles all over the place is really cool, like reflective surfaces being used in interesting ways, like
shooting the camera through a window to distance themselves from the character.
Yeah, a lot of like really great shots. Yeah. And I knew like the moment that like it was about to kind of take like that kind of turn, because there's this it's a really subtle one, but it's when B is like bent over Brawl and is like checking him out to make sure he's still alive. And he kind of like he's like bent his head down and lifts his head, and it like the camera hangs on him in such a way for long enough that you're like, hang on, what's going on? And then immediately the next shot happens, and it's like, oh, okay, we're doing like this cool like reintroduction of a villain.
They also did the Rise thing where hashtag grabs, I think it's Jawbreaker, and she throws him down, and the camera follows him. Yeah. I love that shit!
It's really good. It's a very, like they're very obviously kind of calling back to their old work, which is great, because Earthspark is getting a second season.
Also, the whole thing about breaking hashtag out of her mind control by coming together with a lot of green energy is really Rise.
It's like, oh, I see.
Like, you're saying your family powers that manifest in the form of like giant beams of green energy?
That's crazy. Yeah, Tell me more.
Yeah, really. You worked on Rise. Oh, I would never have guessed.
I had no idea. It literally feels like the guys who are on Earthspark from Rise just showed up at the studio with a bunch of hard drives, and they're like, "You're not taking this work from us. We're putting it in another show."
I mean, to be honest, Nightshade's obsession with tech and science, they feel like Donnie.
Oh, no, they're a very Donnie character, absolutely. Because they're very theatrical, too.
Yeah, the very theatrical mad scientist is like, you almost kind of feel like, here, we're going to shove some Donnie jokes we didn't have time to put into Rise.
Yes, exactly.
Nightshade's going to be our vector for that.
Well, because you also have the big... But I mean, like, literally, though, because you have the big guy with a heart of gold, right?
Yeah.
You have the, like...
You have the artsy one.
The artsy one, and you've got, like, the techie one, and then, like, what
Twitch
Leo is literally just, you just split it into Twitch and Thrash, right? Because you've got, like, you're burdened with leadership and also smartass. Yeah. You know? Like... It's all there.
Yeah, all the pieces are there.
It's great.
And I love it. I'm so happy Earthspark is getting a second season. I'm so glad that it gets to exist. It's it's such a delight.
If it gets a full 26 episodes next season, then barring catastrophe, of course, because anything could happen. But that means we will get 52 entire episodes.
I know.
These days, that's a lot.
That's very significant for a cartoon to get these days.
These days, this ain't no, fucking Transformers Prime, and it's 60, no.
It had 3 seasons in the movie.
It had 3 seasons in the movie, but 2 of those seasons were 26 episodes, that's 52. It had the 3rd season was 13. So
60 something.
65.
Yeah.
And a movie. So 65 episodes in a movie. If Earthspark gets 65 episodes in a movie, I'll be ecstatic.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
all I need, Right. I mean, I'll take more. I'll take a fucking Gargoyles run. Are you kidding me?
Right, but no, for sure.
But like if they're like, well, we're only getting 2.5 seasons in a movie, it's like, okay, that's fine. That's perfect.
We need another good cartoon that lasts like 100 million episodes.
Yeah, well, SpongeBob is still on the air, so that ain't happening anytime soon.
But no, like all those bits, and I actually like. I really liked the way they handled the racism element of it. Like, Robbie's friend being like, well, they probably just mean Decepticons, and they're like, no, it says Transformers. Go home.
Yeah, and it's like they're kind of like trying to do the whole like, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, I mean, yeah, it kind of is.
Like
it's kind of that big of a deal.
It comes back to the non-binary thing where it's like, kids' cartoons always have to dance around these things,
Sure.
Or it has to be like the special thing where like, no, this guy who is the bad guy needs to learn a lesson about it, right? And it's very straightforward, like, and you have to use a lot of like dancing around certain terminology and whatnot.
Sure, yeah.
We're entering an era where it's refreshing, where they can actually get it into the bit more of the details about it.
Yeah, and just be more straightforward about it too. Like, not so like this is a very special episode. They're just like, nope, this is the thing, and we're moving on. But like, not in a we're ignoring it kind of way. It's just like they're very like obvious about it. It's nice. Yeah, no, it's very refreshing, especially in a kids cartoon where kids can be like, you know, connect to that and be like, oh, now I know what that looks like. But also, I mean, like, the thing about it that's also cool is that like kids aren't stupid. No, that's I don't mean like thing. Yeah, no, like, but that's the thing is that like it's not treating like, you know, this is a show for children that we're obsessing over because we like the big robots. But it's like still a show for children, and it's not treating said children like they're stupid, which is nice, basically, because like, you know, kids aren't dumb. They'll get it. They'll get it perfectly fine, right? It's a long way from the racism episode of Teen Titans where Cyborg relates to Starfire by being like, no, I understand what it's like to be judged by your appearance. I'm a robot. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, You just missed it. They made you put that in there, didn't they? They sure made you say that line, didn't they, buddy? I'm sorry. But no, yeah. So all in all, like, fantastic show. Before we go, is Breakdown dead? Go. No, he'll be back. Okay, that's what I think. They can't form Bruticus anymore because Brawl is dead. But I think Breakdown's fine. I hope Brawl isn't dead. I hope they like actually bring him back for real too. I hope he's fine. You know, because like he's only been drained of his energon. Maybe he's fine. Maybe he's fine. Maybe they just stuck another one of the little energon patches on him. They only drained his blood. He'll be fine. Okay, so I actually do have to ask one other question. Yeah. As much as I love that episode, so like, the energon is like rapidly aging Mandroid, right? Oh, yeah, no, he's getting fucked up on that shit. Because you see him in the first shot of the episode while the kids are down there fighting Grimlock and like knocking his little thing off his chin. Mm-hmm. And he looks like Mandroid at the end of the first part, right? Right. And he's fine. But then when Mandroid shows back up with two robot arms, and he's obviously been hitting that energon a little too hard. Mm-hmm. He's like got a full beard and he looks super fucked up, right? He's got like the 5 o'clock shadow and shit. It's supposed to be like aging him, right? I don't think it's I think it's the withdrawal that's aging him. Okay. I think it's when he doesn't have because the whole point is that, you know, we see them like, he's demanding more energon when he gets to Ghost. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's because he hasn't had any in a while. That's why it got him fucked up. Because he's fine once he gets it. Right. I think because he's replacing himself with more and more Cybertronian parts. Mm-hmm. It's like he's actually becoming dependent on it to function. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. Yeah. Because like you see him at the beginning of the episode and he looks like his normal, like, you know, self. And then when he shows back up to terrorize the kids, he's like all fucked up with 5 o'clock shadow and stuff. And it's like, huh? But now, I was making sure. Yeah. If he keeps going down this line, we're going to get something more fucked up than Silas Breakdown. Boy, and Silas Breakdown was pretty fucked up for a kid's show. Yeah. That was a horror. Mm-hmm. With one of the best episodes in Transformers ever. Yeah. To follow, but that's fine. Oh wait, what else? I feel like I had something else I wanted to say before we wrapped it up. Shit. I can't remember. No, I lost it. I'm so sad. Extremely funny that they put out an ad for this part of the season that like was like, it's got Grimlock and Starscream, and both of them are in it for like 15 seconds. It's got enough for us to put them in this commercial. It's like we spent the whole month from like trailer to this thing being like, why Starscream's eyes blue though? And then Earthboy's like, we're not telling you yet. Yeah. Fuck you. Eat shit, asshole. It is the most quintessential Starscream it's ever been though. Oh yeah, he literally says. Literally, the first words out of his mouth are "witness the fall of Megatron." It's like, Megatron has fallen, now I Starscream lead the Decepticons. Like, he basically says that verbatim. That's awesome. While he's scrabbling all over Megatron like a beetle. Like a bug. Really and then gets fucking owned immediately. And then immediately gets owned. Yeah, it rules. And also, like, top of the line Grimlock, which is, hey, it's our buddy Grimlock! Oh no, it's our buddy Grimlock. Yeah, it's true. It is a cliche, and part of me is annoyed by it, but there's also part of me that always is tickled by, oh boy, it's our long lost like brute friend. He must be so happy to see us. Oh no, he's coming. Oh no, he wants to fight. Oh no!
Like when you haven't seen the Hulk in a while, it's like, hey buddy, how's it going? Oh no, he's charging. Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's really funny is the thing, so it's fine. I get it. God. Again, though, they're like, Keith David is voicing Grimlock. He don't have a fucking line this whole season. He said a goddamn word.
When he gets to talk, it'll be like,
great.
holy fuck, it's Keith David.
It's Keith David. But in the meantime, it's like...
yeah.
you really advertised that man's voicing Grimlock, and then he didn't say a fucking line.
He just went,
he went, and shot fire at kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's very funny. So Earthspark rules. I suppose that's a good thing to talk about. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
Boy, I totally forgot. Time is meaningless.
It's okay. I watched 2 other things and listened. I did a bunch of other things. 2 of them I want you to watch as well so that we can talk about them next time.
Okay.
I watched Emesis Blue.
That is actually on my to watch list. I saw it get posted in the Discord. And I started it at like 3:00 in the morning though, and I was like, I don't know about this. So I just put it on my watch later on YouTube.
It is an hour and 45-minute long movie. It's a movie.
But you didn't say the main part.
It's a Team Fortress 2 SFM.
It's a Team Fortress 2 SFM, but it's like an actual for real movie.
Like it's a movie with acting and like performances and stuff. Like
like the real deal, like an actual animated movie
with like a plot and like story beats. Like holy shit. Like legendary production went into this. It's phenomenal. I don't want to talk too much about it because I want you to watch it and we can talk about it together. But
I will absolutely watch it before the next roundup. Yeah.
It's one of those things where like it's not even my type of it's a horror thriller, psychological horror movie. And I don't like horror at all, really. I'm a coward and a wimp and a loser. But this was just really, really good. Like,
of course,
from start to finish, it's a absolute delightful experience, especially being made from SFM, which there's a lot of good SFM productions out there.
Sure.
Nothing ever as dramatic is as well done. Like by design, it's really hard to do dramatic things with the TF2 characters.
No, of course not. Yeah, no, I mean, I suppose that's part of the reason why it's not as scary to you is because it's the fucking TF2 characters, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know these people, they're not going to hurt me.
It's still at the end of the day, it is still TF2 characters, but they do a really good job of, utilizing them in this story. Team Fortress 2, humor, Valve humor is very cynical and horror adjacent, It's very violent and that kind of thing. But so they can just take that element of it and increase the horror part and decrease the comedy part, and it works really well.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I finally got to watch, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. The dub finally hit Amazon. And they initially launched it for $2.99 because they thought it was just a single episode of a show. So I'm like, I'll take that, thank you.
Yoink.
It's the best Dragon Ball movie. I think it's better than Broly.
I'm really looking forward to watching that one too. Yeah, absolutely.
Any fear you have, thinking about Battle of the Gods or Broly's use of CG, out the window. Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
The animation is so fucking good. There are so many little details that they put just to reassure people that it's not going to be this really stiff animation, kind of robotic, until the fight scene happens.
Right.
It's just really, really good production all the way through.
Yeah, it looks good and fluid and natural.
The dub is phenomenal. It's so funny. It really is. It's supposed to be Gohan's movie, but it is Piccolo's movie.
Sorry, Gohan. It happened again.
He does get to be the hero for the back half of it, but the first half is all Piccolo.
Great. Good. I love him too. Shockingly, the two best characters in DBZ are Piccolo and Gohan.
Right.
So that works out.
Yeah, no, I absolutely adore it. They finally got to move the timeline forward. Yay. Thank you. Goten and Trunks are actual teenagers now.
Yay, finally.
So yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Okay. I'll cover this one real quick. I finished Pizza Tower.
Okay.
Great game.
Sure.
The ending is probably one of my favorite endings I've played in a game like this. The last like final boss is really good. Are you ever planning on playing it?
Oh no.
Okay. So the final boss is a boss rush.
Right.
Where the true head of the Pizza Tower, Pizza Head, pulls up the previous 4 bosses for Peppino to fight at the same time. And since this is the last level, and since he has spent all this time being an anxious, furious mess, the boss rush starts with him seeing the 4 bosses that he already beat and seeing Pizza Face, and something in him snaps.
Great.
And bosses have 8 pips of health, or they have 16 pips of health. They have 8, and then they switch to round 2, and they're phase 2, and they have like more advanced moves. When Peppino snaps, his attacks do 4 pips of damage. And he goes into this like rapid fire, like punch, kick, and bite whenever he actually makes contact with the boss.
Kill, bite, kill,
and
bite.
Because he's just like, he's had enough of this. He has no patience for any of this anymore. Awesome. And he just reaches his breaking point. And he goes berserk. It's great.
Rules. That's great.
Because you feel the same thing where you're like, I have to fight all these guys at once? This was hard enough by their own. Like, yeah, I can't do this. And then then he does the first attack where it knocks off 8 pips off, or 4 pips off of Pepperman's health, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Oh, I see. Okay, I understand now.
So that was just a fantastic game. The other thing I did is I discovered a new podcast.
Okay.
And I discovered the podcast that is basically us in a parallel universe.
Oh no!
It is 2 lifelong friends, a guy and a gal, who have very similar interests in a lot of things. Except for certain things where the ratio of knowledge is horrifically skewed.
Okay.
The podcast is called Brain Tape, and it is one of the friends who has a ton of knowledge about the comic Achewood, taking their friend through Achewood, who has no knowledge of Achewood.
So this is just you and me, because I don't know jack about Achewood.
It's just you and me, and it's just them going comic by comic, and like really diving into like each panel and each like turn of phrase and everything.
That's amazing.
And I'm listening to this, and I'm just like at first I'm like, oh, haha, it's kind of like us, but like listening to their mannerisms and stuff, I'm like, this is just us. Oh fuck!
Oh no! We found our clones. We have to go kill them.
There's like the thing is like there's bits where you can hear like background noises like traffic and like commotion. And I'm like, oh god, it is just us.
Yeah. Where there's dogs barking in the background and stuff.
Like, oh no, it's just us. This is just our podcast.
Oh no, they took our bit. Kill them. Oh great.
But no, it's if anyone is interested in Achewood, I would highly recommend listening to Brain Tape. It's very fun to have someone like go through with no knowledge of anything that happens in this comic and being like analyzing these characters from that perspective.
Sure. Oh, I did start listening to, apparently it's a Rooster Teeth podcast. Who knew? It's like not a true crimes podcast, but it's like a mysteries podcast. There's a difference. It's not talking about like recent murders. It's like all old stuff and like conspiracy theories and shit. Called Red Web. And it's fine. It's actually not that good. But it's good to listen to like while I'm working. And the funniest part is like, these are 2 of the dumbest guys I've ever heard on the planet.
Oh, good.
Like, talking about like aliens and ghosts and the Axe the Louisiana Axeman, right? Like, so in that way, I suppose it is very funny. I would say, like, listen to, like, 1 or 2 episodes and just enjoy how stupid these guys are. But not, like, in an intentional way, the way that, like, Dave and Gary are on the Dollop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just, like, 2 real dumb guys who call 4chan, like, a scary, dangerous place on the internet.
I did see that.
You saw that one on Twitter. Yeah. Where they're like, to 4chan, I've never been there, and it sounds scary and damn. I'm like, calm down. It's 4chan.
It's okay. It's not the fucking dark web here.
It's not the fucking dark web. Come on, guys. It's fine. You know? So, yeah, no. Very funny just to listen to it for that reason. Otherwise, I mean, it is a perfectly acceptable 45 minutes to an hour long podcast where some fucking morons talk about ghosts.
Yeah.
You know? So...
Gotcha.
If you want to listen to that, if you're just like, I just need more of that shit, because I love talking about that shit. I love talking about ghosts. I love talking about shipwrecks. I love talking about old murder stories, not modern murder stories, because that's weird. But like old serial killers and shit, like that's fun. Aliens, you know, that kind of thing is fun. But like, yeah. So, that's it.
That's it for me too. So let's talk about things that have happened to other people.
Great. I feel like the news would be a little sparse, but we'll see.
Actually, we have a fair bit.
Okay, let's
track down. Mortal Kombat 12 gets announced in the worst way possible.
I saw this, of course. Of course WB would announce Mortal Kombat 12 via stockholder meeting.
Yeah, you know, just like, oh yeah, we're making this.
It's like, that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay. Do you think Ed Boon knew that they were going to drop that?
I hope he didn't, because I like seeing Ed Boon have his day ruined. I don't like that man, so I think it's funny when bad things happen to Ed Boon. Sorry.
Literally no other news besides that, because it was announced at a stockholders meeting.
Yeah, it was literally just like a thing to shareholders saying, like, we are making Mortal Kombat 12.
We don't have like screenshot of Scorpion or nothing. Just
not a fucking thing.
Square Enix's Yosuke Matsuda stepping down after 10 years as president.
You know, I was excited about this because I think it's very funny that Matsuda was like, you know, he did the whole NFT thing. He literally sold their Western IPs off for a song.
Right.
So that they could get into like crypto shit. And it flopped catastrophically. Wow, what the fuck just happened there with my English? And it flopped catastrophically. Forspoken was a huge bomb, right? Fucking Hi-Fi Rush blew it out of the water.
Yeah. Regrettably, Strangers of Paradise was also kind of a miss.
Yeah, which is a shame. I mean, I'm not that surprised because of like that game is really weird. As much as I like it, the game's really weird.
Oh no, it's a bad game. Don't get me wrong.
It's like a very strange game in a lot of ways, and like
it looks
all of its DLC has been like bad.
Yeah, it looks like garbage. There's no question about it. It's a bad looking game.
It's like one of the ugliest video games I've ever seen in my life. So you know, it's been just like a bunch of misses and a lot of like really comically bad missteps and what have you. And I got excited. I was like, okay, so they're promoting somebody else to the position. And then I looked more into that guy's backstory or into his like work history and stuff. And he's also like a crypto shithead. And I'm like, oh, it never ends.
I read a bit more, and they talk about this on Big Think. He himself is not an NFT guy specifically.
Okay.
The company he used to work for is some kind of shareholder or financing company that does research for clients on NFTs.
Okay.
So they exchange funds in regards to NFTs.
Okay, so they're more like a market research firm.
Yeah,
okay.
Market research or some kind of like they don't work in NFTs.
Okay.
NFTs are an avenue in which they receive money and pay out to clients.
Okay, that's different. Okay.
So he has no experience in the video game industry whatsoever.
Interesting.
He is kind of just like a business guy.
Yeah, he
like
is. Square Enix is also he's their former CFO, right? Chief Financial Officer.
I think so.
Okay.
But he's just like he has no video game experience. He's a money guy.
Right.
So it's still not great.
It's not great.
It's not really what
ideal.
you want to hear.
No.
But it's better than him just being an NFT bro.
Right. Okay.
Speaking of NFTs,
oh no.
Over $30 million worth of Funkos are headed to the landfill.
Oh, it's funny until you remember that it's just a bunch of plastic that's just going to get shoved into the ground. It's like, oh,
yeah.
We're all going to be 45% Funko Pops before we're dead because of all the microplastics in the water table.
Right.
You know?
So in essence, this article is about prices are down for Funkos.
Yeah, the collector market bust.
Yeah. It's what? What the collector market bust?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a brand new phenomenon, isn't it? Right?
This has never happened before, ever.
No. I mean, I'm looking over here. I have some Beanie Babies. They're still worth a fortune, right?
Yeah. No, Ben. I've got terrible news for you.
I have all these shares in Blockbuster.
Oh, Ben, no, baby boy, no, I have such bad news for you. You're bankrupt.
So, unlike Beanie Babies, which probably will, dissolve into the dirt eventually because they're cloth.
Well, the beanie part is plastic.
Right,
yeah.
But, these are all plastic, and their warehouses are full of unsold merchandise.
Who could have seen this coming?
And,
it's all gonna just sit in the landfill forever and leach into the water table.
I have to wonder if, like, the realization, like, the devalue of these things was because people looked at their collection of Funko Pops and were like, oh, this is it. Oh, okay. They're not gonna do anything unique with them.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I've been, like they're looking at their 5-year collection, being like, oh, they're the same. Oh.
I've wasted my life. Oh no.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop this now.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna.
I mean, it's literally any market bubble popping, right? Where it's just like suddenly investors in this case being schmucks, realize that they've been taken for a ride and that the asset that they're holding is worthless. Right. And then they go, oh no, and then the market goes, oh no, and then nobody's buying Funko Pop anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think because I obviously collect Transformers.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with collecting things. If you do collect Funko Pops, I mean,
get better taste.
That's your money, but you're allowed to do that,
Sure.
But I mean, like, Transformers have obviously grown in the years, and like, they've gotten better at making cooler toys out of them. Any action figure, like, you can at least pose it and it looks cool on your shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's still there's new cool things being done with the action figures.
Funkos are Funkos.
They don't do anything.
They're always going to be
You
Funkos.
Can't pose them. You can't do anything with them. They just kind of sit there and they're very disconcerting to look at. They're not even like aesthetically pleasing. Like a Nendoroid, like you can't really do much with a Nendo either. You can pose a Nendo, but like not very much.
Well, they all come with a handful of accessories and
like
fun
different
things.
faces and stuff. Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, you can pose your Nendo a little bit, but like they're aesthetically pleasing. Yeah,
they're also way cuter than Funkos.
They have better production value. Although these days, Nendo, their production value has also been kind of going down the drain. I've seen a lot of pictures lately that Nendos are not being made as well as they used to. Because they've gotten bigger, of course, in economy of scales. Or it just doesn't work. Duh, obviously. But yeah, no, at least still Nendos are still kind of cute versus Funkos that are just awful and don't really have any kind of... I have one Funko Pop, and it's dog meat from Fallout 4 because it's a cute dog. You can't fuck it up, right? Like, that's it.
I have two. I have an Arya Stark one, and I have a Marty McFly one, which I only bought because it comes with a giant DeLorean to sit in.
That's correct.
That's it.
We bought it for the DeLorean. We didn't buy it for the Marty.
So yeah, I mean, who could have seen this coming?
Definitely
Everyone.
not me.
Every single person.
Everybody on the fucking planet.
Yeah. Collect things because you think they're cool. Don't collect them because you think you'll
it's
make
speculative
money off them later.
value. Yeah, exactly. Don't buy a speculative asset. Just buy something you like.
Yeah. I mean, everything I have is out of the box and it's on my shelf because it's collecting dust because I think it's cool.
Right.
And
That's what matters.
I inherently do not buy anything over a certain price value because I know like eventually it's gonna fall off my shelf and break and I'll throw it away, you know?
Right, exactly.
Eventually when we get a dog or I have a kid or whatever, it's gonna fucking explode.
Yeah, of course. Every single one of those toys is gonna be in 700,000 pieces.
Yeah. But fuck all that. Forget all that. Throw everything I've said in the garbage.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is real. The only news article that matters this week.
What a great trailer to just like release out of nowhere at like 3 a.m., right?
So, because like I thought it was a joke. Because like I don't know if you know this. Mm-hmm. The Latin American community has been making Budokai Tenkaichi 4 out of Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for years now. Like the modding scene for BT3 is insane.
Sure,
like, they've just been pumping out new characters.
Well, yeah,
absolutely. So when I saw like a trailer for like Budokai Tenkaichi 4, I'm like, oh, they're actually like they're putting out like a bunch of new characters. That's for the mod scene. That's cool. What?
No.
What do you mean? What do you mean official? No, it's not.
Especially because like literally this trailer dropped out of nowhere at like 3 a.m. Everyone's like, the fuck you're talking about?
There's no build up. There's no like, you know,
countdown
announcement. You know, we've gotten so used to announcements for announcements, you know?
Sure, absolutely. So but like this wasn't even released like at prime time. I don't even think this was released at prime time in Japan.
No, they just like, it's like someone forgot to like cue this tweet, you know?
Yeah, so it was just like some intern woke up and was like, fuck, the Tenkaichi tweet. And they just hit the button and went back to bed, right? And that's like, why? Okay.
So I want to set up the timeline for you.
Please.
To indicate how long it's been. When Budokai Tenkaichi 3 came out, George Bush was president. The entirety of Dragon Ball Z Abridged started and ended between Budokai 3 and Tenkaichi 3 and Tenkaichi 4.
Wow.
Budokai Tenkaichi 3 predates Battle of Gods.
Oh wow, holy shit.
It predates Dragon Ball Evolution.
Uh-huh.
It predates Yo Son Goku and his friends return. When Budokai Tenkaichi 3 came out, the most recent entry in the Dragon Ball franchise was GT.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's been a long time then. They've really just been coasting off Xenoverse for a while, huh? Wow.
So they have well over a decade's worth of new characters and new transformations to put into BT4.
They're gonna make so much money off of DLC for that game. It's gonna be insane. Especially because like fighters, this is not right. Like every character in Tenkaichi plays the exact same.
No, fighters is we're going to make a tight roster, very balanced tournament, you know, professional fighter. Like, we want this shit to be at EVO. We want this to be like our mainline entry into like, you know, big FGC stuff, right?
Sure.
Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is the quintessential arena fighter. It's got it's got how many characters? It's got like 198 characters.
Yeah.
And
they all play the exact same.
They all play the same, and they are scaled by their in-universe power level.
That's correct. So,
you know,
so the scaling is dog shit, everything's broken.
You want to pit Omega Shenron against Dragon Ball Goku? You can do that. It's not going to go well for Goku, but you can do that.
Yeah, like, it's great. And so, like, they can just pump characters out forever, right?
Yeah.
Like, this game is going to have, like, 6 season passes.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're just going to they're going to do the Xenoverse 2 thing where they just keep shoving new characters into this game.
It prints money, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm expecting a final roster of over 300.
I would not be surprised one bit. No, I would be delighted. They're going to put every single character from the Tournament of Power in that video game. Every like shitty bit character that was in the Tournament of Power is getting in that game.
Yeah, every single one of them. You can put like any character that's introduced in Super is fair game. Like there's so fucking many of them.
Oh my god, yeah. Like we're just gonna be swimming in characters. It's gonna be great. It's gonna suck, but like in a really fun way.
You're gonna get, because BT3 famously had 3 versions of adult Goku. It had Goku early, mid, and late, which was just like Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga, and like Android Buu Saga.
Oh, it's Goku. Just like fighters.
And it's like, well, you can just add a whole extra tier on there, and here's Super Goku, here's Super Vegeta. Yeah,
we can put at least 6 more adult Gokus in this game now. It's crazy.
I am so jacked for this. Like, are you kidding me? My friends and I, we would play, because BT3 had a cool thing where you could do a 5-on-5 tag team thing. Mm-hmm. You could just pick 5 characters on your team and they would swap out when they died.
Sure.
We would create a team and we'd have to justify why those characters are hanging out before we were allowed to pick them. Like, play as that team.
Yeah, of course. I see.
So we just had like a grand old time being like, oh no, like Yajirobe and General Tao, like they met in this bar and like they really hit it off for some reason.
Absolutely. Cooler and Dr. Giro, they've got beef they've got to settle together.
Yeah,
right?
well they're Giro was fascinated by metal coolers, cybernetics, and like wanted to study him, and like this is, they started talking, and next thing you know, they're ready to kick Goku's ass.
That's right, they're gonna take revenge together. There you go.
Yeah, totally. It totally makes sense.
That totally makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't dispute it.
No. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. I cannot wait to see more about this, and just how fucking big that roster's gonna be. Like
I said, extremely funny that it's just like a shadow drop at 3:00 in the morning. So yeah, fantastic. More games should do that. Yeah.
Hopefully soon. I can't imagine it's a very tricky game to make.
Oh god, no. It's a game that's just stapled together.
Yeah. Next, Starfield delayed to September with a Starfield Direct coming in June.
All right, but the thing is that they say delayed to September. Like, do we have like a proper release date?
I mean, I think they're saying. Okay, so according to the article, announced in 2018, set for November 11th, 2022, which we knew they were never going to. Then pushed back to the first half of 2024 because of the Microsoft show.
Oh, right.
Everything's coming out in a year.
Yeah, like, about that.
I mean, I never believed it's coming out in a year. I believed it's coming out before the calendar rolls over to 2024.
Sure. Sure.
So
that's
like
fine.
Delayed to September 6th, like, no, that's your release window. You were fine.
You're fine. Yeah, saying that, like, it was delayed. It's like, well, I mean, like, no, not really. We just kind of expected. The fact that it's not November, like, honestly, if they come out and they're like, actually, we're pushing it back to November, I'll be like, okay.
September, you have 3 whole months.
You've got 3 whole more months to work with if you push it back. Because, like, I'm not going to say no. I'll be like, yeah, sure, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, like, most Fallout games tend to come out in October and November historically, so sure.
Look, as long as we have the window to put it on Game of the Year 2023, it's fine.
It's fine, yeah. I'm not gonna complain. So just I am looking forward to the Starfield Direct. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the game. Obviously,
that'll be good. Mm-hmm. But no, this is good news as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's an actual date to look forward to instead of like a nebulous first half of 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an actual date to latch on to. They put out like a little baby trailer to announce the new date. And the trailer showed some like kind of weird space shit going on, which is fun. I'm glad it's not just like hard science space shit, right? Like there's also some weird like space ghosts. It would be cool if that space ghost would also show up. But.
You know what I really like in my space stuff? Mm-hmm. When there's like a big circle.
When there's like a big, love seeing a big circle in space. You go somewhere and there's like an orb or like a circle. It's
like a big ring. Mm-hmm. It's just there, or like a big square.
Yeah. That's like you go to a moon and there's like a temple on the moon and you're like
oh boy, and it makes like
into a monkey. Yeah,
makes like a really like loud droning noise, like ooh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the money right there. Mm-hmm. It's gold, baby. You don't need anything else in your video game for me. So I'm assuming this also means we're gonna get some form of aliens, which is nice.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. This Starfield, so like we had that initial trailer and it gave us a good idea of what the aesthetic is going to be.
Sure.
But like, there's obviously more to it.
Sure.
Right? Like there's gonna be more to it overall. So like I'm excited to see what the direct shows in regards to like what else besides like the Human Federation are we gonna run into?
Right. Are we gonna run into other I know there's gonna be like alien creatures,
but
are we going to get more sentient, intelligent aliens?
Like we said, a little while ago, where it's like the dream is the Zedans show up at some point. But like I would also not be surprised if we get some really, really tall, skinny things.
Sure, absolutely.
Or like, some weird little squat Star Wars round guys.
Yeah, something. Like that are like intelligent, but speaking gobbledygook, right? Like, that's what I want. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm really hoping for like some actual proper aliens in this sci-fi game.
Yeah,
it might be kind of fun if it's only like alien creatures and like all of the aliens are already gone. Like all the intelligent ones are already gone. It's like a great filter kind of story, which could be cool, but we'll see. I'll take either if it's done right. But I would love I would love a little guy. I would love a little guy who speaks in nonsense, right?
Yeah. The thing about like all the sentient aliens are gone is that works in stories.
Sure.
Doesn't work as well in video games, I feel like. If you're like, oh, the cool thing is over.
That's not true. That's literally what the Outer Wilds is about.
Well, I mean, the Outer Wilds is different because it's about that. You know what I mean? Like Starfield is about exploring, and it's like it's kind of like when you find a vault in Fallout and it's empty.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, this experiment sounded like really interesting.
We'll see. Because I mean, like, I think some of the best vaults are also the ones where the horrors have already happened, and you're just kind of stumbling in post facto, like the vault. The one where you had to pick somebody to die every year. I can't remember which vault number that is. It's not 13. It's one of them.
Yeah, but it's like, and it just sucks when that's like almost every vault, Sure,
yeah, of course.
I want to stumble upon like when shit goes. It's like it's kind of like the opposite of BioShock.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't want a game that's set on like in Rapture when it's nice. Mm-hmm. Like, you want it when things are just getting fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely. You want things when they're just starting to go downhill. Yeah, like absolutely.
You wouldn't want to play BioShock 1 where all the splicers are dead.
Right.
And you're just, like, exploring an environment. It's like, no, I wanted to fight some weird guys.
Sure.
So
that's true.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that, like, we just get some really cool looking
some weird little guys.
Talk to.
Yeah.
And the Zedans. Throw the Zedans in there for fun.
Show this. I want the Zedans to show up as like a cameo. It's just like one or two of them,
It's kind of hard for me to separate Bethesda, like open world Bethesda games, from the pulp 50s aesthetic of Fallout.
Sure, it's the one that we've played the most. Yeah,
right. So like I'm kind of like leaning towards rubber foreheads and like green body paint all over.
Yeah.
But I deliberately don't want that,
I'm definitely the thing about this is that like it isn't that, like it's all of the trailers and stuff, it hasn't leaned into the way that like Outer Worlds did, right? Not the Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds, the other one. Outer Worlds leaned super hard into being like, we're not Fallout, but we're Fallout, wink wonk. And that game sucks. So, you know, I'm hoping that they don't lean too hard into like the 50s pulp aesthetic and they just kind of do their own like, you know, spacefaring. I wouldn't mind if they did like analog spacefaring shit like Alien, right?
Yeah, no, that would be cool. Yeah,
that would be cool. Mostly because like analog shit in space is like the ultimate aesthetic.
Right. But I want them to stay away from like Star Trek. You know?
Yeah, absolutely, totally.
So
this is like Todd Howard's dream game.
I know,
which is just like I want to know what Todd Howard's dream game looks like. You know, I want this is going to be an incredible dive into a madman's mind. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. I can't wait for June. I'm sorry. Yeah. There's a high chance that Starfield's going to be good, even if it's just like mid, because it's just gonna be Fallout 4 but more. Yeah,
it's gonna be everything I wanted.
For us, it's just gonna be it's like this is like a 7. We're like it's the best 7 ever made. Fuck.
Oh yeah, no. This is a game that's just for us.
Yeah, no, sorry guys. There is a unless something really phenomenal, unless like 16 just knocks my fucking socks off, there is an extremely high chance that Starfield is already Game of the Year.
Isn't FF7 2 coming out this year? Isn't that still slated for end of the year? Oh, is it 2024?
I don't think they've actually set an explicit date.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's gonna be early 2024.
So it'll miss the window.
Yeah, because they're not gonna put 7 out in the same year as 16, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
So like, unless 16 is just fucking phenomenal, right? Mm-hmm.
It's probably gonna be Starfield.
There's a huge possibility that no matter how broken Starfield is, it's gonna be Starfield.
I'm swinging for the my
I'm
prediction.
Pointing at the stands.
My prediction is that my game of the year list is going to be like it's already locked in, and it's going to be Starfield, FF16, RE4, Hi-Fi Russian Pizza Tower. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, 16 also has to like really screw the pooch to not end up on that list, and that's possible, mind you. There's a lot about 16 that makes me go like, we might get our hands on 16. We might both look at each other and go, doesn't feel as good as Hi-Fi Rush.
This could be. There is a Final Fantasy 16 is dancing on a razor's edge, where it's either really good or it's Tales of Arise.
The question is, what era of Platinum is FF16 gonna be?
That's correct. So, I live in fear.
Is it gonna be Bayonetta 1 or is it gonna be Bayonetta 3?
Oh no! Yeah, no, I'm very. It could be so good or it could be so bad.
I know. We talked about how hard it is to make a really good character action game.
It's true. And also, like, you've got to really thread that needle with this extremely kind of dark and self-serious story they're trying to tell with 16. And it's like, if this game doesn't play good and is also just a stone cold bummer, like, oh no. Oh no.
I don't want to think about that now.
I don't want to think about. I mean, like I said, there's a huge chance that this is just 2023's Tales of Arise, right?
Either way, FF16 is going to be a really interesting episode of the podcast.
That's correct.
Are we gonna get fucked up because the story punched us in the gut and made us feel things we didn't comprehend? Or are we going to be insane because, oh my god, it was so bad, I can't believe they did that.
I can't believe I spent $70 on this. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how the pendulum swings. So,
look forward to that.
They say when a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin and the world holds its breath. Same thing with Final Fantasy games.
Will it get that coveted silver medal because Starfield's getting the gold, baby?
Todd Howard, send me that that game for free. I'm doing so much work for you right now. I am actively rehabilitating your online image.
Everyone share this podcast with your friends and family. We need to jack our viewership up to before September so that we can be influential enough to get free copies of Starfield.
Yeah, absolutely. I deserve a free copy of Starfield. I'm doing work for Todd Howard for free right now by saying I'm probably gonna like Starfield no matter what.
Especially get all your friends to listen to all of our Fallout episodes.
That's correct.
And
then somebody send those Fallout episodes to Todd Howard and he'll go, but they're just talking about how much this game sucks. No, but listen, pay attention, Todd.
No. Listen in between. Listen to what we're saying the subtext is.
Pay attention to the words between the words, Todd. The fact that I've got like 2,000 more than 2,000 hours in your fucking bad Fallout game, okay?
That we're still playing.
And obsessed with. So, you're welcome. Next.
Okay. All right.
Oh, no.
Microsoft tells CMA it's, quote, confident, unquote, Call of Duty can be optimized to run on Switch.
Oh, they're so funny. Yeah. Oh, classic mistake. You've made one of the classic blunders. The first of which is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only thirdly lesser known is this. Never tell anyone that you can get a Call of Duty game to run on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, do go on. Oh, really? Really, you think that? You think that? Really? I would love to hear some more about how you think you can get this game to run on the Switch.
How charming. How delightful.
Tell me more. You know it can't run Resident Evil 4, right? You do know that. You are aware it can't run PlayStation 2 games correctly.
It's amazing how much they're willing to lie, so that they're like, no, we're still gonna put Activision games out on non-Xbox consoles. We're not gonna monopolize the market. Please let us buy Activision.
Really? Tell me your plans for how you're going to get a modern Call of Duty game to run optimally on the Nintendo Switch.
And then they start to say the word cloud, and then everybody just starts laughing even more.
Yeah.
We're going to get it to run on the cloud.
You know... Hey, Microsoft. Hey, Microsoft. Leaning closer, really nice here. Do you know how Smash Bros. Runs on the Switch?
Do you know how Smash Bros. Runs on the Switch? A game that was made for the Nintendo Switch?
The game that Nintendo owns and pours all their money into because it's fucking Smash Bros?
The answer is it runs bad.
You think you can get Call of Duty to run on that?
Hey, Xbox. Have you seen how bad Splatoon is when connected to the internet?
And that's Splatoon.
That's a video game that Nintendo made for themselves.
What are you thinking?
Adorable. They're just just outright lying so that they will be allowed to purchase Activision. That's it.
Yeah, no, this is such a bold-faced lie that even the most suit-wearing old man in a boardroom could never believe this.
Oh yeah.
Even the most video games is the thing that make us money, right? Even this won't even fool them.
No, it's not going to fool anybody. Is the thing, because Nintendo can't even get their games to run good on a Switch, right?
Right. No.
There's no possible. This is literally just lying to say we fully intend to keep supporting, cross-platform play by partnering with Nintendo and the Switch. When they know in their heart that nothing is going to run on the Switch. What they'll do is they'll announce Switch versions and then quietly cancel them 3 months later.
Or they'll just release cloud ports that will never get off the ground ever.
Yeah, no. But it is all just like, it's all just a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, no,
right?
it's
bullshit.
complete bullshit.
To be allowed to purchase Activision. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
This is such desperation. You know?
They are clawing, because at this point the UK has already told them no. Like they are like desperate for this to go through.
Like they already have the baseball bat out and you're tied to the chair. They won't believe that you can get the money by tomorrow. Okay, you're past that.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. We are at the point where we start breaking fingers. You know?
You are so far past one more day.
No,
like, you're done.
You're done. We're taking you out to the desert after this. You know what I mean? So, like, sorry, bro. Yeah, no. Very funny, though. Very funny that they're trying.
We don't believe that you know a guy, okay? Like, it's gone.
You don't know any guys, is the thing, Phil Spencer.
Yeah. Speaking of mafia deals.
Oh, dear.
Bob Odenkirk says he's starring in a remake of Tommy Wiseau's The Room. I'm so fucking excited for this. Are you kidding me?
This one is extremely funny to me. How based is Bob Odenkirk? He's literally doing it for AIDS research, which is even cooler. Yeah. Like, it's fantastic. I'm going to watch it. It's the funniest possible way for Bob Odenkirk to follow up Better Call Saul, right?
Look, you know, anyway, I can throw The Room on the takeout roulette.
Sure.
And, you know, whatever. Everyone's done a audio commentary track for The Room.
Yeah, don't make me watch The Room again. I don't like that movie. But I will watch the Bob Odenkirk version.
I might throw the Bob Odenkirk Room on the roulette.
Hell yeah. That's not even a roulette one. That's just what we're going to have to just watch.
This is the thing that people have said before, and I think it's very true. Mm-hmm. We should not be remaking good movies.
No, absolutely
We should
not.
be remaking bad movies and turning them into good movies.
The thing about this movie, though, is that it is hilariously a shot-for-shot remake. Yeah. Like, it's not a reinterpretation to make it a good movie.
No.
It's a shot-for-shot remake of The Room, but with Bob Odenkirk and a bunch of other guys instead.
Right. Like, they are doing, like, it's like a remake. Mm-hmm. They're just redoing the original thing, and they're
extremely funny.
Quote from this article: Odenkirk's tweet came after podcaster Justin Decloux revealed that the feature-length remake of The Room had been shot mostly on green screen, and that it's not played as a joke. This is the way you do it. Okay, there have been time and time again where a bad movie gets, you know, cult classic infamy, right? And the studio, you know, the director or whoever, the writer, the original guy who made this garbage is like, oh, I'm going to make a sequel. I'm going to play up how bad it is. Mm-hmm. Wrong. The appeal of a bad movie is because you tried really hard at first.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
Screwed it up. You cannot purposefully make a bad movie.
Yeah, it's extremely, speaking of Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston, he was on Hot Ones. He was talking about when you're making a funny movie, you can't think what you're making is funny.
Yes. Oh, I saw that's such a good interview.
It's a great. Fucking Hot Ones where he's eating hot wings and just like talking about movies.
He's talking about, because he talked about specifically like SNL. Where it's like, well, there's an audience, and when you break an SNL, it's fine, whatever, because like the audience is laughing along with you, and you're just kind of doing a fun skit for, you know, for them, you know.
Yeah, it's in that case, it's funnier because everyone is laughing along with you, and you're like overwhelmed by how funny the joke is, right?
Right.
But you can't think the comedy movie you're making is funny. You have to take it totally seriously.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're kind of ruining the joke, right?
You're taking the way he put it is, you're taking the pressure off the audience to laugh.
Right. Exactly. And it's the same thing with this Bob Odenkirk, The Room remake. Like, you have to take it totally seriously and still make a bad movie, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's perfect. Fantastic. Yeah. 10 out of 10. No notes.
Yeah. No, I'm so excited. I want to see more stuff like this where we are going to redo a bad thing,
right,
and try to make it good. and see what can come out of that.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Speaking of going back and trying again, Warner Brothers delays Suicide Squad game after fan backlash.
The problem is, it's not that long of a delay. It's what, 6 months?
Yeah, it's 6 months. They are not going to fix the bad parts of it. It's at this point, it's fine tuning, and something broke catastrophically, and they need to go back and fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fan backlash. What they'll probably do is, like, it's still going to be a live service game where everybody uses guns, so it's still going to be a bad video game. But they're probably at least going to make the menus less gauche, and probably not put the season pass and stuff just in the main menu like that. Like, hide it behind a pause menu or something. Like, you know, they're going to just, this is just massaging out all of the industry ugliness that is inherent in the game, right?
They're putting band-aids on all the paper cuts because they can't actually treat the giant, like, stab
bullet wound. No, it's so this is not going to fundamentally fix the game in any way. It's still going to be a shitty live service.
It's gonna be better. They're just gonna be better at hiding it, basically.
Yeah, so that's basically it. So, you know, it still looks bad. Don't buy that game. It's a huge waste of time. So, but do something better.
Yeah. GameStop employees freak out as all Resident Evil 4 CE stores pre-orders get canceled. GameStop!
Oops. You are not fall. You are so not long for this world.
How do
Rest in peace?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say how do you screw this up, because, like, obviously something went horribly wrong.
Something went horribly wrong.
In their, you know, server side, or you know, this isn't on the individual stores. Like, this is on a corporate something or another.
Yeah.
Collapsed, and they're just all canceled.
Great, fantastic, extremely funny.
And, you know, it's like GameStop kind of needs these big releases to, like, keep the lights on.
Yeah, to keep going and keep things chugging along. Yeah,
because it's really not working out for them well.
Oh no, they're having a bad time. They're literally propped up at this point as, like, a meme stock, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're still being propped up, but yeah. And that's it. It's very funny.
I mean, I would say they're propped up by Funko Pops, but we just read that those aren't making for a good foundation for your house either.
Oh no, you shouldn't have built your store on top of Funko Pops.
It's just that fucking Simpsons bit where they rebuild the Flanders house. Bart's like, I wouldn't pull that down. That's a load-bearing Funko Pop.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god. Yeah, no. It's bad, folks. It's real bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, this store it's not going to last much longer.
It's not long for this world. It's very tragic.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem teaser trailer. We finally got a good look at the movie.
I would just prefer to have another season of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm sorry.
I would prefer that as well, but this looks like fun.
It looks like fun. It looks cute. It's got, like, a cool art style for sure.
The only thing I would do is I would have swapped Donnie and Mikey's voices.
Yeah, same.
But the dynamic, it is funny because, like, one of the cool things about Rise, for instance, was that, like, they actually did feel like teenage brothers, right?
Sure.
Like, they, like, compared to other series where they kind of felt more like ambiguous age teammates.
Right, just like
Rise
friends.
Is like, we are teenagers and we are brothers who have lived our whole lives together. I get that a lot with Mutant Mayhem too, but on the like if the Rise cast feels like 16, 17, 18, these feel like 13, 14.
Yeah,
like
12,
younger.
13, 14. Yeah, like little kids.
Yeah.
So, they look, I mean, the designs are really cute. Like, it has a really cool art style.
I love the art style.
It looks great, yeah. Like, it looks genuinely amazing.
The you know, the thing that really sold me about it was the Don't Tell Dad.
Yeah.
Where the side goes into Donnie's leg.
Yeah. It's like, oh god, don't tell Dad. Yeah,
and it's just that immediate energy of, you're fine, don't tell Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, So it looks cute. I'll probably see it. I definitely think it. I mean, just stylistically alone, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
So, thank God for Spider-Verse mostly.
Yeah, I mean, this is like between this Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots, like thank God we're actually
thank God.
We're actually having style in our
animated
CG,
movies look good again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of this. I still would prefer if it was just Rise season 3, but
That's
if you kind of squint a little bit, it kind of feels like a Rise prequel.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Even though Rise is also a prequel, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
The only thing I don't like Splinter's design. I'm not a fan of the 80s hairstyle he has.
Yeah. I'm not in love with it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I guess I'll have to see like what his personality is, but not a fan of that design.
No, I'm not in love with the hair. No, it looks weird.
Yeah. Old G4 review is forcing gaming to reckon with its racist JRPG past.
Oh god, they really did just used to talk like that. God. It's really bad, folks. It's really bad.
This is not a weird thing. This is a bad thing.
Extremely bad, yes.
Extremely bad thing, but like, boy, we were just really allowed to be super racist to Asians back then, weren't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
you think about like the one that, besides obviously game reviews, because this is a huge, it was constant. Those wacky Japanese people, right? But you think of any time an Asian person appeared on The Simpsons.
Right.
It was awful.
It was awful. No, like, it was just so consistent for so long. And, like, you just watch it and you're like, oh my God. Like, that was just totally, like, they put that on TV and it was totally normal.
Acceptable to just,
horrifying.
Just do that kind of thing.
No, it's extreme. It's just, and then of course, Sessler gets on fucking Twitter and just the funniest part is Sessler doubling down.
All he needed to do was say, yeah, that was 15 years ago.
Yikes.
Oof.
I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly.
And
like, oof.
He didn't have to, like, write up a formal apology. He didn't have to fucking, like, film himself, like, making reparations or whatever. He just had to be like, yeah, bad. I didn't like that.
That was bad. I apologize. That's literally all I have to say is like, wow, we made some really tasteless jokes back in the day. I apologize. And that's all you got to say, right? Yeah. But like, no, my man's like just doubled down. It's like, oh, dude, no, you shouldn't do that.
Here's the tweet. Quote, dude is angry I didn't like his consumer boner stimulator in 2006.
That's not the point. Nobody cares that you didn't like Baten Kaitos. I didn't like Baten Kaitos. That's not the point, Sessler.
Quote, I am not defensive and I'm not apologizing to the MAGA weirdos with anime porn in their timeline. What?
Huh?
Who do you think is mad about this?
No, the thing is that Sessler is on a tremendous amount of cocaine at all times.
Yeah.
So he doesn't actually know what's going on ever. He has no idea what's going on around him ever. So yeah, but it's bad, folks. It's really bad. You just watch them and you're just like, oh God, make it stop. It
used to, like, everyone would make these jokes.
Like the wacky Japanese people jokes. Yeah. It's pretty. They're really rancid. Like, you watch them now and you're just like, wow, people just were super blasé about this. They are wretched, awful jokes. And they're not funny. They're not even fun. They're not funny even in the slightest. It's just people basically screaming slurs for like 5 solid minutes.
Every fucking like parody or critique or whatever was all the same shit. It was every single fucking time.
Yeah. No. It's bad, folks. It's bad. That is a cultural wasteland, the likes of which you could not possibly imagine unless you were like of age during the time, and then you know. So
all you had to do was just be like, "Oof, that was bad. Sorry.
That was tacky of me. I apologize."
Like, and this whole thing, before anyone doesn't know, this whole thing started because Yoshi P recently made like a comment about like back in the day he felt that JRPG was a derogatory term.
Sure. Yeah, because like,
and he was totally right. Yeah,
he's totally right. Like, he's absolutely right that at the time, you know, Western reviewers and developers and stuff basically just like used JRPG in a derogatory way, right?
Like anything that was like that, like came from Japan that wasn't like Mario, had a debuff because it was from Japan.
Yeah, it was that weird anime game.
Yeah. So, all you had to do was just say you were sorry.
That's it, man. But hey, at least now we all know exactly how like horrifically racist G4 was back in the day. I mean, we all knew. We all knew. But
like, it's good to know that nothing has changed.
Be reminded, nothing's changed. Yeah.
Almost done here. Capcom Spotlight March 2023 summary. Not a whole lot got shown off here. The big thing is Resident Evil 4 as a demo out.
Have you played it?
I have not played it yet. Okay. I've been super busy. I'm probably not gonna play it. I'm probably just gonna go in completely blind for RE4 when it comes out.
Because it's gonna be RE4. Who cares, right?
I know enough about RE4 to like.
All you need to know is that they kept in the line. Where's everybody going? Bingo. Yeah,
they kept in the bingo line.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll buy your game. Fine.
And all they changed for it was that you hear like a disembodied audience cheering and clapping after he says it.
That's it.
Yep, great. That's all you needed.
Fantastic. So yeah, I will be purchasing Resident Evil 4 if they keep it, you know, appropriately kitschy, you know.
So. They showed off some Exoprimal, some Monster Hunter stuff, a little bit more about Ghost Trick Remaster. They showed off more about Resident Evil Death Island for the first time in Resident Evil history.
What is
Leon
this?
Scott Kennedy and Jill Valentine will be in the same room.
Fantastic. It only took 35 years.
This is the first time this has happened. And amazing. I don't know what will be funnier. Chris having to introduce them or them already knowing each other.
Oh, they totally should already know each other, right? Like talking like they've been hanging out this whole time.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody playing is like, what the fuck? Where's this been?
I want them to meet up and Leon's like, oh, hey, Jill, how's it going?
Yeah, how's it hanging? You know what I mean?
Haven't seen you in a while. I know everyone's watching is like, what?
What the fuck? What do you mean haven't seen you in a while? Yes, please, give me that. Absolutely. What is this, though? Like, what kind? I didn't even see this.
It's a CG Resident Evil movie. We watched Vendetta, you know.
Oh, no, I didn't know it was a movie.
Yeah, it's just another one of their CG movies. And
it's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad, but it'll be bad in that fun way. So
it's going to be really bad. Well, look, at least Capcom announces new episode of The Gorge Takeout.
At least, you know, we've talked more about Resident Evil has like a bad experience with anything that isn't games. At least the CG movies are like stupid fun.
They're stupid for sure.
Yeah, but like at least
it's stupid in a way I appreciate. Yeah.
At least it has like the charm of the cast of Resident Evil.
That's correct.
You know.
Yeah. So, well, I'm glad we have another episode to take out to talk over at some point.
All right. And finally, Guilty Gear Strive DLC character Bedman announced.
What is this? What is this? It rules.
So, do you not know?
No, I don't.
So I don't claim to know a lot about Guilty Gear either.
Sure.
In the previous games, there was a character called Bedman, and he was a man strapped to a bed that had like robot limbs and whatnot. From what I can gather, and I'm probably wrong about this because again, I don't know shit about Guilty Gear. This new one is Bedman's sister, who is now controlling the bed. hence the name being Bedman?
Bedman? Fantastic. I love Guilty Gear. Folks, we love Guilty Gear.
Okay, here's the quote from the announcement thing from Gamatsu. The bed can continue to act independently after Bedman's death due to the program he entered in his last moments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the original Bedman is dead. He downloaded his brain into the bed.
Sure. Okay.
Guilty Gear. Delilah recovers it after it plays a part in stopping her when she loses control. It mainly takes action to protect Delilah. So the cool thing about the moveset for Bedman, is that Delilah kind of walks around in the foreground, while the bed does all the acting.
That's
like
amazing.
all the attacking, and like she's reacting to things. Like there are certain attacks where like the bed scoops her up to like do a high jump or anything like that, or like covers her so she doesn't get hurt. Or she's like, reacting or like trying to hide when like a big attack comes out.
That's great.
So very charming looking stuff. Her design, she's super cute looking.
Sure.
There's like animations of her like crouching down and covering her head when like the bed does like a swiping attack. So yeah, Guilty Gear always has fantastic characters.
Guilty Gear stays Guilty Gear. I'm glad.
It's one of those things where like, God, I wish I liked fighting games.
I wish I was good at fighting games. I like fighting games, but bad at them.
I wish I had gotten into fighting games when I was like really young,
Yeah, so that I could still have those skills. Because like I don't have the time to refine being good at fighting games now.
Right.
So like that's a thing I'm just gonna have to watch from afar and be like, yeah, it's nice, sweetie.
Yeah. Watch these trailers and be like, oh, that's exciting.
How nice. And then you never play it.
I should probably just go and watch like Wooly's like Guilty Gear lore videos.
Yes.
Like I want to know about these characters because I think they're fascinating.
They have great designs and like they're all very interesting. So I'm really looking forward to, to that. I love the way Guilty Gear looks. I just think it's the coolest looking fighter on the market, right? Like looks great. I just, I'm so bad at fighting games. It's just not it's not a genre for me. And it's like, yeah, I could play it single player, but that's not the fun of it.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not going to have friends, like, your other option is play online. I'm not going to have friends over to play fighting games because that's not what my friend group does, right?
Right.
So, and I would just get washed online, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of those, like, fighting games is always one of those things where it's like, every fighting games tutorial is not the way I'm going to learn to play the game, No,
yeah, of course not.
Like, it's too late for me.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it. I can't. No, yeah. I don't have the time or the patience to actually practice it. My last attempt for fighting games will be Street Fighter 6. I'm going to pick up 6.
Sure.
I'm going to play it. I'm going to try to convince you and Oates and Saturn to play it too.
Sure, absolutely.
Cuz when Fighters came out, it was fun for a while. My friend group and I all kind of got into it.
Sure, you play with your friends and that's fun. That's different.
Yeah, we were all bad at it. We were all on the same skill level, so it was just fun to play and pretend we were good at video games. Like my buddy Dave and I, we play Marvel 2 and Marvel 3 whenever we get together. And it's like neither of us are like professionals at it, but we are at the same level where it's still competitive for us.
Sure, absolutely. That's all that matters. But the problem is that like if you don't have that like kind of normal,
if you don't have that consistently,
right, then your other option is to play online where you will get wasted, right? And that's not fun. That's just like it feels like you just wasted money, right? Yeah. So nah. So I will just appreciate Bedman from afar. Fantastic character, 10 out of
10. So that's it.
Great, that was easy.
Yeah.
All right.
So, thank you to DJ Cutman for some background music. You can follow me on Twitter at The Gorge Podcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast.gmail.com. And what do we got for this week?
What do we have, Ben?
This was a lot of good news. There's a lot of
fun news. Fuck Microsoft for trying to convince anybody that you're gonna run Call of Duty on the Switch. Right? Like, that's not happening, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not gonna happen. Unless you're gonna build a bespoke version, like the way they used to have to do it for the Wii back in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, like the garbage version of the game.
Yeah, if you build like a bespoke version of the game for the Switch, maybe, but they're not going to spend those resources.
But that's not what they said.
No.
What they said was that they're confident it can be optimized to run on the Switch.
No. That's a lie.
That's not part of the deal, Microsoft.
That is quite literally pissing on my head and telling me it's raining, right?
They're like, no, we can put it on the Switch. Are you like for real? This whole deal hinges
the whole game
on you being able to put the regular Call of Duty on the Switch and have it run good.
Sure, but the thing is that, like, of course this isn't. The thing is that, like, Microsoft is just going to lie to regulators, and regulators will let it go through, potentially. Mm-hmm. And then when they don't make it work on the Switch, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Because that's how things work, right? Like,
right.
It's like, oh, well, we tried our best, but we couldn't make it work. And then regulators will go like, oh, poor baby. And then maybe give them like a teeny tiny baby fine. Right? But that's it. You know, but nothing else will come of it. So, you know, no, the Call of Duty is never going to run on the Switch.
It's not going to work that way. No.
It's not going to work, folks.
You need to shut this down now.
Yeah, sorry. So I really, we are still in the limbo of, is Microsoft going to be allowed to purchase Activision? And every single day, I go, please no, please no.
It's increasingly becoming less and less likely is the good thing.
I really hope so. I really hope that it is allowed to not happen, just mostly because I think the idea of people telling Microsoft no is very, very funny to me.
Oh, for sure. Like, that's what they deserve, to just not have the ability to do this.
Yeah, to just be like, no. Have somebody just be like, no, we're not gonna let you do that.
You don't get to monopolize it. And they're like, but Nintendo, no.
But Sony, no. You don't get to monopolize a huge, chunk of the industry this way. I'm sorry.
We'll still have competitors. No, you won't. Shut up.
I do love what was it? It was either the UK or the EU. One of them was like, yeah, you can buy Activision, but you can't buy Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And you can't buy like World of Warcraft or something.
Right. Yeah. It's like, but that's the thing we wanted. Well, is it?
That's what I really want US regulators to also say, is like, oh yeah, you can buy Activision, but you can't have Tony Hawk and you can't have Call of Duty, right? Like, those have to be run by those have to be spun off into their own studio, like they can't be owned by anybody. They've got to be their own thing. I think that would be the funniest possible option. Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not, I thought, didn't you wanted Activision? You didn't say you wanted Activision. You didn't say you wanted Call of Duty.
Yeah. I think that is the funniest possible route for things to go. So, please give me this comedy. I'm begging you.
One day we'll get to announce that the deal is over.
God, we're going to be talking the thing about legal battles with U.S. regulators is that we're going to be talking about this for the next 2 years.
We already have been talking about it for 2 years.
Yeah, I know. Well, congratulations. We're going to be talking about it for another 2 years, Ben. So, it's not going anywhere. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.